So I'm gonna do Beth tilting her head up a little sideways, doing some underdrawing. Maybe like the eyes are kind of halfway closed. I see her with I mean, she's always been goth, so she's always had like the heavy eyeliner and whatnot, but even more so now, that seems to be kind of the thing. A lot of fake lashes and heavy amounts of mascara. I think that's what it's called. So a lot of times you'll notice for a nose, I'll just do kind of the side of the nose as a shadow, that kind of, and maybe a suggestion of a nostril there, and that's pretty much the nose right there. Are you able to do that? Or does it have to be in total? I know I'm twitching a month. It's been a month now. This crazy experiment, this journey. Finding the right balance, how much to actually do, honestly. You know, I do the gaming stuff with the kids and even my own lame gaming, and I know that it gets a fraction of the attention, but I don't know if I could be on here more than I am in terms of drawing, uh, and not feel guilty that I'm not drawing something else. At least with gaming, that would be normal time I would be taking off to do things with my kids or taking a break. But it does give me a chance to kind of interact and answer questions and try to win chicken dinners. Anyway, um, yeah. How do you subscribe? I don't know. How can I get my female sketches to look more feminine? They always come out looking like a dude. That's a good question. I use myself as reference for both the men and women. I think I think it's probably the eyes, the thickness of the eyelashes, making those a little bit smaller, making the chins maybe a little more feminine, although I do like a strong chin regardless. A couple people actually have said, yeah, I watch it with my kid and we draw and together, so it makes me rethink some of the things I should be saying. Big game. Yeah, look, Joe Mad is a hero of mine. This is a guy that had everything going in comics, and he basically uh, was such a gamer and so into it that he decided to start his own company. I really respect people that put that kind of effort on the line or make that kind of effort in anything and put their career on the line. So, and I'm going to go ahead and do the nose actually first, make sure I got that lined up properly. I'll tell you that doing a straight-on shot like this is hard in that I already see that this eyebrow, I did raise it intentionally to kind of have that curvature there. Just have to be careful that I align the eyes almost independently of the eyebrows to make sure it lines up correctly. So I kind of will hide that a little bit. So you can see that the eyes are more almond shaped, so meaning that point and this point are not in the same level. This is much lower, that's much higher. What I did for Man of Steel was particularly challenging to do. I had a lot of fun inking it. Kind of more fine line than anything I've done before. The Batman v Superman is actually the cover I did for Empire magazine. We just recolored it. Actually, it was never colored. I don't think it was a black and white exclusive for people that subscribe to that magazine. I'll post those up on Instagram soon. And then I lose track of when they actually come out or not. So sometimes I have to go through my phone and just find photos of like, oh, now I can share this. Because I did it so long ago, I completely forgot. So my goal is not to penalize people that can't necessarily afford to subscribe, but at the same time, uh, reward those that do for their support. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. That's what I'm trying to say. So even as I'm drawing this, I'm making sure that this distance to this eye and this distance to this part of the head are the same. I see now that I've actually drawn her head, her temple over here. So that's much further, so I gotta imagine it being more like this. This is a backing board. It tends to have a slightly thicker or shinier sheen. So you can see right there, I've already smudged it, so I have to be extra careful. It's kind of a pain, but I didn't bring a drawing board. This is all I got. What do you mean? You mean like sketching their characters for fun? Honestly, I'm promoting their characters if I sketch their characters for fun at this point. But I'm pretty sure we're allowed to sketch anything. I always really try to sketch the characters I was involved in either way. And DC's always been great in allowing me to promote and talk about things I've done in my career, because it's obviously not just limited to the stuff I did at DC. So she's deaf, so that means her lips are going to be black lipstick, I think. And that really kind of helps accentuate that very kind of stark look that she has, kind of white pancake makeup, that alabaster white skin with the uh, raven black hair, the jet black clothes. I'm gonna actually kind of make her eyes even bigger, the eyeballs themselves, and blacken out the rest like that. So it almost looks like her eyes are black with a glint of light in them. And then I can go in and circle things that indicate areas where, like, hey, by the way, this is someone's ankle here, this is someone's calf that you thought was a rock, and can you color it the right color, kind of thing. Or I could throw a whole blue kind of tone on something and say, can you make this cooler in general? Not cooler like awesome cool, but just like cooler in terms of hot versus cold, blue versus red. Here I'm just kind of playing around with the hair, kind of indicating that it goes all around. Can't really talk about any of the Vertigo stuff for next year, other than it'll be fun to talk about it later. All right, so what I just did there is I took a pen and I drew the outline of her hair. Where that line should be, I don't know what the science is in something like that, other than I'm thinking of this volume here, I'm thinking of this volume, and it's basically the shape of her skull, which would go here, plus an inch or two, but maybe a little more volume on the sides, right? The hair on the top is going to feel the weight of the hair, so it's going to be more compressed down here, and then as the hair comes down and basically bounces off the shoulders, that resistance is going to puff up the hair, so it's going to actually get a little wider on the sides. She's deaf. I'm just going to go ahead and make all her hair black. I don't know if I'm going to put a highlight. I might. If I do it, I will do it with white out. The one nice thing about this the slicker than usual surface is that the ink doesn't soak in as fast, so it goes a long way. And you can see I had the collar or the shoulder there, but I went over it. His hair will also go in front of it. have that line there. I'm going to keep that there for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it there later. These are the kinds of mental notes I make to myself as I work on the piece. And if you might notice, I'm actually kind of sketching a little slower than I normally do. I am slowing it down a little bit. It's been just sat in the park for about 2 hours as I've been driven back to my hotel room in New York City from Princeton, New Jersey. Now, hair physics, I'll just say one thing. In the 80s, it was all about the big, bouncy, poofy hair. And so it's actually funny when you look at those sketches from back then. The hair is actually higher on the top part of the head than it is on the sides. And that's how you know when that sketch was done, because back then we had discovered power of mousse and its ability to basically take strands of hair and create walls of dead cells that would rise dramatically up in space, into space. You should be in bed. Randy was a cyborg. Where are you living that you should be in bed? In the morning? No. Why would you have to be in Asia? You have to be in Europe. Rob Rock says he's liking what's going on. You know what? Maybe I'll just do one ear. Yes, maybe, no, no, yes. Too late. She's tilting her head, and this is too wide over here. I should have done this closer because the weight's and then more. So maybe she's leaning this way. I figure these things out more when I actually draw. It's, I'm gonna keep working on that one. There's some like purple diamonds. Yeah, I'll tell you, Patrick Cav. After I do a big signing, like I did the AT&T signing, yeah, my body does a, I don't know, no, it must be, can't even talk. I get like an adrenaline rush when I do events or talks or whatever. So right after you kind of go into aftershock. I don't know if that's an adrenaline dump or what it's called, or but there's definitely a sense of not accomplishment, but the so I definitely had a bit of a come down after the talk in Princeton. But I think that's probably why I'm drawing so kind of leisurely. I'm trying to push myself in terms of speed. How am I going to take into account the fact that this probably should have been like here? I am thinking of a couple different ways because I tend to be kind of obsessive compulsive about mistakes like that. So I could do something where I create a shadow. And let's see what I can do here. Maybe I'll create a kind of a cosmic background. Maybe that's the answer. Either way, I know that by doing this, kind of hiding the fact that I probably have too much over there. Let's see if I can actually create like a bit of mascara. Basically, I'm bending it so I can just dab a little bit. There we go. It's a bit tricky. Getting it just right. Oh. So I'll go ahead and over here and there. Maybe pop the tip of that ear in there. That jawline's a little harsh. I'm going to do a little softer in there. Obviously, I'm just fine tuning it at this point. Another thing you do on straight on shots is turn the image upside down, and then you can look at it as if it were a spaceship or something, or a plane with wings and fuselage that way. And the idea with that is that you're not looking at a face and being fooled by what your mind thinks is a face in the back of your head, but that you're looking at it as just a simple drawing with lines on it. And a lot of times I'll see one eye too high or too low that way as well. Alright, I'm just going to clean up the edges here. What I'll do over here, I'm going to establish a new take that, and then I'm going to take my finger right here, we all have them, and I'm just going to lightly dab it, dry it, lightly dab it, dry it. And now that it's dry enough, I can try to kind of create this kind of smoky texture. Get strained, or I have to like really move my head away from the page quite a bit, and that's the fun part of getting older. Stupid. A little piece of paper, it's a backing board, just like this. I'm going to put a little bit on the corner. I'm just going to flick it. Create a little bit of a star field in the background to hint at the cosmic, eternal quality of a character like that. Because it's not a real clean edge, and because it doesn't have a lot of elastic bounce like a credit card or a room key would have, you can see the splatter is really kind of very asymmetrical in terms of shape, but still kind of cool. In the early days of my career, I had a very distinctive and different kind of signature. Hold on, let me just kind of like some of these kind of crazy lines. So I'm thinking. done. Should I stop and go in and make some of these lines thinner? So there's more variance between the thickest parts and the thinner parts. And I didn't really even think about doing this until just now. So it's just something that I do sometimes to fool the eye so that you don't know that you're looking at a pen line. So when you look at a white line that has uniform thickness that runs across a figure, it reads as a line, a white line. Now if I go in and alternate and vary the line work and make pointy tips here, then it's a question of, well, did he create that line using whiteout or a black? Or did he create it by inking in around it so that there's a white line? And look, in the old days, they used to draw the stars in by hand. I learned how to splatter stars watching a street performer, a street artist in New York, and they would create these amazing cosmic star fields. And they would do it in a minute or 2 minutes, and they would use paper plates, cards to kind of splatter the ink for the stars, and that's where I learned that technique. So I'm basically making these lines less prominent. A little bit of a little bit of pen control, or brush control. Then I don't know why there would be a line through the hair, so I'll get rid of that. Makes no sense. So I'm pulling back on my commitment a bit to this white line idea. You can see it just kind of makes the lines a little more subtle than they were before. And they don't kind of overpower the face and the rest of it. All right, so that's done. I'm going to move on to the next one. Anyone else have some ideas? Okay.